Welcome back everybody to World of Tanks Xbox 360 edition. My name as always is Maxwell, and today I've got a couple of videos for you, as you may have guessed from the title of the video, from the T23 premium medium tank. So first one here is going to be On the Cliff. Now both of these, they're pretty good games, but they're not amazing games, and there's a couple of times when I kind of derp out, and I'll explain why I derped out and how you can not derp out in the future. But firstly, I just want to talk about the tank itself. Now this thing is a tier 7 premium tank. You get it with one of the founder packs, the more expensive of the two. I think it's about 6,400 gold at the moment, but it's only on sale until today. So if you did want to pick this up, today is your last day to get it for the discounted price, and you get it with a bunch of consumables as well. So this thing handles very, very much like the Pershing. Very, very similar speed and agility, very similar armor, and exactly the same amount of hit points as the Pershing, 1,440, which is pretty damn good for a tier 7 tank. The major differences it has with the Pershing is, number one, it's only tier 7, whereas the Pershing is tier 8. The other major difference is its gun. Its gun is its gun is fairly terrible. It's not absolutely terrible. I mean, if it was exactly the same as the Pershing, it would have a better gun. But like I said, this thing is only tier 7, and the Pershing is tier 8. So the pen on the gun's okay, but the average damage is terrible. Its average damage is somewhere in the hundreds. 100 and something for its average damage. So it's going to take you a while to whittle targets down. So how should you play it? You play the tank basically like the Pershing. If you haven't played a Pershing, then you play it like an assault tank. It's got it's decent speed. It's not fantastic, but it's good. See, I'm just trying to have a shot at the scout there, but missing him totally. But yeah, you play it as an assault tank. You get out to the front lines, and you try and hold up and harass the enemy, and if possible, try and get around on some of the flanks. Now, I'm acutely aware here that there's a Stug 3 possibly going to be sneaking up behind me. As you saw there, I only did 90 some damage to that M4, and it's not really that fantastic. But as you can see again, it can take a hit. So I get hit by that T1 Heavy, and it doesn't really move your health bar particularly loads. This T1 Heavy making some big mistakes here and just presenting all of his side armor for me to just put shots through and through, but he decides to just bail off the side there. So that's my signal to go forward. Going to try and catch the Stug off guard. I just want to say apologies as well if I sound like I've got a bit of a cold. The reason for that is because I've got a bit of a cold. So I'm feeling a bit blocked and a bit congested. So apologies if you hear me sniffing or if I sound like crap or whatnot. So come round, I find the M4 from earlier. He's shooting down onto our allies here with his derp cannon. So I'm just going to come round and try and finish him off, leaving with a tiny bit of hit points there, which is a little bit unfortunate for me. But again, using the medium tank technique that I talked about before, which is move, fire, and that Stug 3 is just playing ring of roses around this mountain here, because he's just moving constantly. As you see, he's obviously done one ring around here and come up behind me. I take a shot from the artillery there. Luckily, I don't take anything from this Stug. But this is the point where I derp out pretty hard. Firstly, I don't get any hits on this Stug after that first one, I don't think. Secondly, I waste so much time. Oh no, I do get a second hit on the Stug, but you see, I take that shot from the side there, which I really didn't have to take. I should have continued charging the Stug down rather than taking it so slow. And then the second mistake I make is just trying to chase this guy. As you see, he's faster than I am. I don't know where that shell hit. It seemed like it exploded in thin air, but this Stug's just done a 180 now, and he is just running the hell away. And again, he's just going to play a ring of roses around this rock. So really what I should have done is just stopped at this point and turned round and gone the other direction and tried to head him off. To be honest, and just totally ignored him because we're getting pushed in the north there. But to be honest, I thought I had the speed to try and track this guy down. Or I thought he was going to try and get a certain distance away and then spin around and I'd be able to take him out. But as it is, he's just running the hell away. And like I said, I should have broke off and gone to the north because we were getting pushed in the north. And as it is, I take a massive hit from the artillery there. I wasn't sure if it was artillery or somebody hiding in that bush. That's why I have that blind shot there. But it is artillery. So at this point here, which I just leave the Stug to his own devices. Find this M3 Lee. I know if I angle my armor well enough, he's not going to be able to penetrate me. And again, I'm gonna do the move and fire technique, and I'm able to take him out no problem. So the game is fairly even at the moment at 10 kills to 10, but we've got a pretty good defense going on here. So I'm just going to stay up here and sort of play Warden of the North and try and stop anybody flanking around behind our defenders. Because they've got the 1-2 line locked down pretty tightly. So all I want to do is just kind of hang around here and make sure nobody gets in around behind them. Because if somebody's able to get in behind them, they can do damage straight through the side armor. And then finally that Stug 3 gets taken out from earlier. And we find a heavy tank. I think it's a Churchill 1. Gets in here and he manages to get a flank on, so I'm going to have to do something about it quickly because he's getting free damage onto our defenders, and that's exactly what I talked about that I didn't want to happen. He gets tracked, which is nice, so we're able just to whittle him down, set him on fire, and then he gets taken out as well. And we've evened up the score nicely at 12 to 12. And I'm just making a big slow loop here, just to try and throw off the artillery. As you can see, the artillery's coming in to try and finish me off. But it looks like the enemy's pretty determined to go on the attack here. Thinking that they had this one in the bag from earlier when they were winning 5. When they had 5 tanks and we only had 3. But we were able to sort of just whittle them down to even. But they are still in the mentality of being in the lead. So we're just able to get that T1 heavy out, and then we're suddenly in the lead, which is nice. Although I've got practically no hit points, 127. One shot from anything is going to be enough to finish me off. And then we find the last tank destroyer coming in there. The Hummel way over predicts my movement. So obviously I'd faded out of view by that point, so he was just trying to predict whereabouts I was going to be, not knowing how slow the T23 is. But I think, as you've seen in this battle, that the gun has a pretty low alpha damage. So that was me just getting on the mic there to say good job. Now everybody move in together. I know exactly where the artillery is going to be. He's going to be in K1, and he's going to be hiding behind the rock that artillery hides behind. And as you can see by the kills, we've all had a good game here. Pretty much, well, we've all got 3 kills and the artillery's got 4. So I'm just going to move up to behind this rock here in this bush and see if I can spot him out. Because if he's not hiding in K1 behind the artillery rock, then I should be able to spot him out here. But I don't, so I'm just going to leave it a little bit longer, just in case I don't get any spots on him. So I'm going to wait for my allies to catch up a little bit. That AT7's very, very slow, so I've got plenty of time. Although, with the speed of my tank, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it all the way around the loop here, so I decide just to head down the cliff face. And I want to come into the base from the top bit here, and let my allies come into the base from the bottom part. And we're just going to try and close the net around the artillery. Now, he could be running for his life, and he could be up next to the cliff. But if that's the case, then we'll just do a base capture and win that way. And if he is still in the base, then we're just going to be closing the net in around him. Just not wanting to get too far ahead, because we should all head in together. Just using the bushes here as cover, and there we go. Spot out the Hummel. Going to try and get a shot on him. Unfortunately, I spend a fraction of a second too long aiming, and he gets himself behind the rock. But luckily, my allies are coming in from the front, so they're going to force him back just like that. And I'm able to get one good shot on him, and then the AT7 takes him out, and that is GG and the victory. So we'll have a quick look at the score screens and see how this one turned out, how it panned out for the XP and credits. Now bearing in mind this thing is a tier 7 premium tank, so it does make increased credits. They really should mention that, like put it in the score screen here just so people know, but look at that, 4,000 credits and 90,000 silver. Get a sharpshooter medal, which is just pretty good. Get the ace tanker badge, which I was very surprised about because I thought there'd be a few of these things flying around. Master gunner and Spartan. Survive a ricochet or non-penetrating hit from an enemy team player when you've got less than 10% hit points. Spotted out a good amount of the enemy and got 3 kills, 7 spots, and loads of XP. I got 400 more experience than my nearest other player there. Decent amount of damage as well, especially with the alpha damage on that gun only being just over 100. So our second battle is going to be on the mines. I just didn't want to leave you with just one battle in the T23, so we've got this one as well. Again, it's not going to set the world on fire, but it's a good, steady game. Shows you really what the T23 is capable of.
Let's go.
So it's an encounter battle on mines, which means that the enemy is probably going to put 80% of their tanks in the cap circle, as usually happens. And again, like most games, there's going to be a point here where I totally derp out. But to be honest, there's not really much I could have done differently. I feel like I played it actually pretty good. It's just the areas that I shoot. Well, you'll see when we get there. I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil the anticipation of the derp. So with the enemy going to be putting 80% of their forces in the cap circle, I want to come up and try and take the hill pretty early. Not spotting anybody out quicker than me, but find a T29. He's in a pretty good hull down position. So I don't really want to take him on head on. But I will take on the Stug 3. Just because I've got a better gun than him, and I think I'm probably going to be able to bounce at least... No, I don't bounce any of his shots, but I've got a faster reload speed than he does. He takes off about 300 of my hit points, but to be honest, with the amount of hit points this tank's got, it can take that. I mean, it's got 200 hit points more than a fully upgraded T29. That thing, I'm pretty sure from memory, only has 1,250 hit points. I've got 1,440, because like I said, this is based off the Pershing, which is a tier 8 tank. So I'm just trying to pick out the weak spots of the T29. If you've got a decent sized gun, you are able to put a shot through the commander's hatch on the top, the cheek of the turret there as you saw, or through the turret ring. Unfortunately, I'm not able to put any of those. Our Churchill starts to make a move up the hill, so I decide to follow him. I'm not really getting anything on him there, so I don't even bother firing, but I was using him as cover. Luckily for me, he gets shot rather than me. And as I predicted, it looks like most of the enemy force is in this cap circle. So I'm just going to come up here and just try and rain death down upon them, which is the best thing to do in an encounter battle. If you can get up on the hill, and you've got rocks, which are going to be fantastic for helping you take cover if you get spotted out here. Just backing off a little bit because I don't have fantastic gun depression. But I'm able just to put shots after shots through this T1 heavy and take him out. Our 88's getting a little bit screwed. Unfortunately, I'm not really sure if I'm going to be able to help him out too much. Luckily, the Panzer IV gets taken out there, and I'm able to get in here and help with the Churchill 1. And that, thankfully, keeps our AT-8 alive. And then going to switch our attention to the rest of the enemy team in the cap circle. As you can see, 80% of the team in and around this cap circle, and they've just totally neglected the rest of the map. And I mean, yes, you should focus on the objectives, but not to the exclusion of everything else. As you can see from this position here, I'm just able to get free damage on everybody. Unfortunately, I just wish the gun had slightly more alpha damage. As you see, it's taken so long to whittle down this T23. It's a little bit ridiculous. Spot out a VK3001. Should be able to get him before he gets anywhere. Oh no! He gets away with just a tiny sliver of hit points there. but someone else should be able to take him out. Luckily, I've got a Black Prince and a Churchill here that are just giving me side armor all day long. Missed that one because I derp out a little bit. But as you can see, just from this position here up on the hill, just able to get shots on everybody. I was trying to take out this T23. Unfortunately, I just missed there, but someone else is able to get him. Black Prince flies off as well. Now, I've got a tank destroyer in behind me, and that's going to be important for later, so just remember that. So we've done a good job of whittling down the guys in the cap circle. Now, because I saw that tank destroyer behind me, I thought, oh, it's pretty safe, but then a T29 gets in behind me, and I'm thinking, oh no, dear God, where did he come from? That's my first derp. I hit the rock and fire over his head. But to be honest, this situation that's about to happen here, I don't think I could have played it any differently. Somehow, luckily, snuck a shot through there, and what I'm doing here is I'm backing off in an attempt to make sure he doesn't have the gun elevation to hit me. And I bounce a shot there, which is a little bit unlucky. This situation here, I'm just using the corpse here to try and throw off his shot, and I'm able to take him out. What you do there is you drive forwards quickly, and then suddenly stop and drive backwards, and the enemy's trying to lead you as a target. That was a bit unfortunate, and because you suddenly stop and go back, then they just overshoot you, which is great. I don't like the fact that the shells hit the corpses of other tanks there rather than actually where your reticule is pointed, because as you can see, my reticule was clearly pointed at the Churchill there, but wasn't able to hit him. But I think that is pretty much game. We've got the base capture underway. They've only got 2 Churchills left, and because of the amount of people we have in the cap circle, I don't think I'm going to be able to reach any of these tanks in time. Find a Churchill 1 camping around their spawn location. Not really sure why he's there, but as you can see, we get the base capture underway, and that is the T23 Premium Medium tank, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll take another quick look at these scores here. Now, I think if we hadn't captured the base at the end there, I probably could have gotten a Top Gun medal. But as you see there, 4 and a bit, almost 5,000 experience and 114,000 credits, which is absolutely unbelievable. Destroyed 5, detected 1, but caused a massive amount of damage there. As you can see, 2,750 damage. The only person to do more damage was the Tiger, which is 3,500 damage. But with the alpha damage that the Tiger's gun can kick out compared to the T23's, that's no mean feat. That means I've probably hit about 25 penetrating hits to score that 2,700 damage. And as you can see, 1,500 XP base, which is absolutely fantastic. So that's going to be it for this video on the T23 medium tank. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave me a like or favourite, stick a comment in the comment section below if you'd like to see a guide, tutorial or content for any particular part of World of Tanks. And if you're not already, then please consider hitting that subscribe button for a lot more content like this in the future. I've been Maxwell, this has been World of Tanks Xbox 360 edition, and I will catch you guys next time.